Hey guys, welcome to the final episode of the Unreal Lessons thing. I don't know what
Series.
series. That's right, Adam. It's series. So Adam, what are we learning today?
All right, so today we're going to pretty up the game. We're going to talk about pulling in outside assets from the Unreal Store and from other websites. We're going to talk about exporting the game and prettying it up. Just all the little things you do to kind of nurse your game to that little perfect look you want. Um, so let's get
Wait,
started. First off, no, hit cancel. We're in the wrong thing.
oh, let me pull up
Sorry.
an
Yeah,
Epic Games
we'll pull
launcher.
up the Epic Launcher. Go to the Library tab, and then you scroll down. You see your vault. That is everything that you've ever got from the Unreal Store, whether you bought it or you bought it free or whatever. So if you've ever got it from the Unreal Store, it's going to be down there. So you pick what you want. We're going to add just anything, animals or something probably simple,
Some like
furniture, field,
temperate
whatever you want to do for the
vegetation.
game. That's fine. Add to project, and then you got one project, so we're just add it to that,
There we
and then
go.
so it'll start adding that,
Yay
and then
for fast internet.
go ahead, yeah, right. Go ahead and show them what you got from CG Trader.
Okay, so from CG Trader I got soccer ball and I got a soccer goal.
Yes, and we'll
Football.
be drag and dropping those in there. So an FBX is what I told him to get, and here's why. An FBX comes with a pre knowledge of like how everything wraps on it, like how the materials wraps on it. So you know how everything's different with materials are like the skin of it, and there's like different bump maps and stuff and spectacle maps that show how reflective it is in different parts of it and stuff like that. All those in an FBX kind of just opens up together. In an OBJ, you have to like manually remap it all. So in a dot object, a dot OBJ, you'd have to drag it in and drag in all the little maps, and you'd have to like map everything onto it. Or so it's like an extra like it's an extra step. So if you have an FBX work really well with Unreal. So this should be pretty drag and drop.
Do I actually drag and drop it?
But not yet, not yet. You
Okay.
will, you will. Okay, so now let's check on our status. I just figured
Okay.
it'd be a good time to talk about file types.
Uh,
Boom, it's added. So let's go ahead to launch. You can click on your project now. And so what's so great about the Unreal Engine Marketplace is it puts all these beautiful, perfect assets right there. That's a bug everybody's been talking about. How it's like you launch one VR project and it launches VR every single time after
yep.
that.
Even if it's disconnected.
Boom. So now we're back in our project. Let's go to our fancy level, and we're going to talk about how to make sure the game only imports that level and all that stuff in a minute. But go to File, Open Level,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then New Map. Boom, fancy map. All right, so now go ahead and drag and drop the soccer ball here.
Okay. This guy right here.
Yeah, just grab that guy. Nope, nope. Do it to your content browser. So normally you wouldn't do it straight to blueprints. I'll talk about that one in 2 seconds. Normally you wouldn't do it straight to your blueprints folder. For us, it doesn't matter because this game is nothing. Just for the people watching, you would pick a folder to keep everything straight. Like one thing's going to be your static mesh assets, and this is a static mesh asset, and another one's going to be your blueprints, which is your programming, and another one's going to be blah 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 blah. But for us, we just want it all where we can see it because there's only so many things we're doing. So um, all the defaults should work if you just hit import.
Import all or just import? What's the difference?
See, that's a good question. I think import all works fine. So what it does, that's the FBX stuff happening. So now your soccer ball, it looks like a soccer ball.
Yeah.
But that's just a static mesh. If you dragged and dropped it into your scene, you'll just see a soccer ball in your scene.
Ah,
And it's very tiny. So you can delete that now. But that has no programming on it or anything. It's just a static mesh. And you can put static meshes in your scene like they're just statues. And so that's fine. But we don't want it to be a statue. But you see the ball? Go ahead and double click on the ball. No, on the ball blueprint. I'm sorry. Or you can hit edit blueprints on the right, or you can double click on it there in the content browser. There we go. So go to the viewport. We've got physics turned on this thing already. And then you'll go to the static mesh that says sphere in the left-hand corner. In the add component section, there's a component called sphere. When you click on that, we're actually talking about the static mesh that is the sphere here. And so in the right, you'll see that it has static mesh and materials. You can actually go to the static mesh drop-down box and type soccer ball. Look at that. And then it automatically imports the elements that come with it, which are the materials. So give it a second to compile.
Yeah.
That white is the scene root or whatever,
Yeah.
so don't worry about that. So if you want the soccer ball to be bigger, you can go ahead and make it bigger in the scale, because the ball we had was pretty big by default. No, I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it with the numbers, keep it mathematically a circle.
We'll do 2, 2, 2.
There you go. And then when you do them all together, keeps it nice and square, or square in the carpentry sense of the word. Spherical. So boom, now hit compile, hit save, or I guess you got it set to where it compiles and saves at the same time.
Make sure.
So,
yep.
And then minimize that. And if you look at your scene, your ball should now be a soccer ball.
The black is white, I think. That's not right.
So
I don't think it picked up our...
Go ahead and save all those things. It depends on, you have several options for the soccer ball, actually. And so what it did is you can actually map it differently. So that soccer ball's got like a gray option to it. So we can go back in there and fix it. Go back. This is a good little lesson point. So you see you got the white, and then you got the basic shape material. Just change that. There's the black material. Just so you know, that black material came with the soccer ball. You don't just normally have a black material. So compile, save, boom. And that's how you fix some material issues like that. That white ball is just really confusing, but that's just where you can see your point in space.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play. Now you got itty bitty little soccer ball. It's still itty bitty. Okay. Now
I'm like stepping over it.
That's funny. Exit out or hit escape.
Oh, sorry about that.
Solid Snake is right behind you. Click on the soccer ball again and the asset. Oh, there it is. So let's double check. The transform there is 1, 1, and 1 in the actual world. So right there, and if you look on the right, that's the world transform. So that's how big it is in that iteration of it. So let's not change it there. You try to keep that the same. You can have some weird issues. I got in the video coming out, I've got one where a baseball bat gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So maybe 3, 3, 3 in this one?
I'd try 5, 5, 5, honestly, because it's pretty small. It's just because the base asset's so small. And then compile, save. And then it's a lot bigger now, but that's about soccer ball size. But I don't think we'll be able to kick it because the physics are so tiny. It kind of works. Hey, it kind of looks like you're playing soccer. Oh no, it's gonna roll off the edge of the world. In a better game, we would have like a fix where it's like if ball triggers here, then destroy actor and spawn actor. Like we've already done all the same things we've already learned. So we're not gonna do it. Go ahead and exit out again. You can make the ball bigger if you want.
That's fine.
Okay, so there we go. We got a soccer ball. Now the goal. Let's do the same thing with the goal asset. Drag that in.
So
let's drag and drop the goal into your project menu, the goal you downloaded.
All right.
So this one, I wanted to go ahead and include it, but I'm a little bit unsure how it should work. It should be relatively low poly, but this is an example of like why CG Trader is not the best thing to do, because it's not all that stuff's not all made for games. So I think this one should work okay. Import all. I rarely mess with anything when it's all set up in the FBX. Yeah, that's taking a long time. I'm a little worried.
It might be the most beautiful football goal of all time.
Football. I have a feeling that's not going to work. So we're just going to leave the goal like it is. Let's just hit cancel. It's the same process. We're just going to drag the mesh around a little bit. But now we know a little bit more about FBX meshes and stuff. It's going to take it a second. Once you start something, it doesn't like to stop. But
all right.
Yeah.
So
Now it's
angry.
mad. Yeah, I got angry because it's like I got it half done, and you said no.
How dare.
Yeah. So we got the ball. We got a makeshift goal. If we drag that goal out of the ground a little bit though, it keeps bothering me. There we go. Okay, I'm so much happier now. So the goal counts, score, blah blah blah. So the next thing we're gonna do, is go to your level blueprints again, and we're going to recreate the exit button because you don't have the exit button anymore.
Where's this one?
Uh-huh.
All right.
There you go. And now on event begin play, go ahead and drag off of it. It's already there. You want to create exit button or create widget, and then select it. And you've already made the widget, so just take the class and then just find the one that says exit button. And then now we need to, that widget exists, but it doesn't go anywhere. So we need to add it to the viewport. So drag off from the return value. This will keep the right context, and then type in add to viewport. There it is. Yep. And then there you go. Now it's adding that particular widget to the viewport. Quick note, hit the drop down arrow. We're not going to do anything with this, but if you have a lot of things in the viewport, that order is the higher the number, the more it's a little backwards. So like 2 goes on top of 1, which goes on top of 0. So you can layer things. So you can like always have hearts in the widget. Like you can always have hearts in the corner and stuff like that with this kind of a widget.
Sweet.
Yeah, you would just do programming to where like the widget looks at your health and then it responds to your health and stuff like that. But ours isn't that fancy. So go ahead and hit compile. If that made any coherent sense, the words that came out of my mouth, you can hit this minimize button. And then when you hit play, you should have the X button again.
Hey.
Boom. All right. And now let's look at those Unreal assets that we pulled in.
Oh, yeah. How do we do that?
Okay, so go to your content set browser down there. Not that, down there. Nope. Yeah, just go to the first folder that says content. Right there, you click on that. There you go. That's how you go back folders pretty easily. So it'll say something, whatever the folder's named is usually a little weird because it's whatever the developer named it. So PNFern is probably it. Click on that. There we go. So you got meshes, materials, maps, blueprints. They'll have demo maps and a lot of these things and textures and stuff. Usually you just go to the meshes and then you can drag those onto a terrain. And so a lot of these are set to only drag to terrain. So you see it's compiling shaders now. So when you drop it, it'll drag and it'll auto latch to the terrain.
That beautiful fern.
Yeah. And you can set it to where you can walk through it or not walk through it or whatever. We're just going to leave it to default right now. I do want to show you how to paint meshes real fast.
Okay.
So yeah, every single time you pull it on there, it's compiling a set of new shaders. So go to your modes in the above your window here, your modes, and then go to foliage. And then it wants you to drop foliage there. Pick a foliage and drop it there.
Let's see. I have not done this one. Maybe.
It should just drag and drop.
There
you go. And then now that you got foliage type, you got a little paintbrush there. You should be able to just paint in some foliage. So like, there you go.
So many ferns.
Yeah. Welcome to SimCity. This is
how you paint trees in City Skylines, literally.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
It has a counter for how many you have.
And just as a side note for people watching and you, what we did with the landscape is ultra basic, but if you get the right tutorials and stuff, it gets really simple. You can have landscapes generate to where when things that are a certain incline, it generates a rock texture, and you can have it pre-programmed. You can paint in textures and you can paint in dirt. You can just make it to where if you build out your landscape right, you can just make it to where you just spend time in the editor making it pretty. So once you if you build it in the first place, everything else is just like nothing but a city building editor where you're like moving things around and painting it and making it look all perfect. So for us, this is what I wanted to show, was just a little bit more into the like future of what landscape painting and stuff is I don't spend a lot of time on it myself because in a VR game, mine are mostly static. But I'm excited to do one that's got a big fancy level one day. That's what you're gonna do is just make a big beautiful level so that way when I fly a balloon over top of it, it looks cool.
Yay!
Yay! Oh no, I told him my game idea. Well,
We'll figure it out.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. It's all pretty self-explanatory once you got all that figured out. Unreal handles this thing called level of distance. When you have a whole bunch of them at once, what happens is it gets a little hard for your computer to handle. This is working fine right now. Let's go ahead and hit that X button, and I'll show you something cool. Go to your show, which is top left-hand corner of your little lower. No, on your viewport. Right there, show, and then go to FPS.
Where is that?
It's a little. Oh, I can't remember how to do that off the top of my head.
There it is. It's
there
under
it
the
is.
arrow down.
Okay, yeah. Show FPS. Now, you should be able to see. Yeah, you're still at 130 frames a second, so you're good. You're good. There's nothing to worry about there. Kicking soccer ball, Stu Ferns, Jurassic Ball.
Jurassic Soccer coming to a VR headset near you.
Yeah.
Top down. Have fun controlling it.
Yeah. Oh no, if you walk too close to that cube, you'll go teleport to another dimension.
I will get teleported. I forgot about that. Does the ball get teleported? I don't think so.
No. You can set it up to where the ball will teleport with it, but that is actually going to be a big deal. So we're not going to do that today. If you can just get that ball. The smaller ball is even harder.
Oh no, I keep kicking on accident. Because he's like, it's all or nothing with this man.
He doesn't know how to dribble.
And these ferns make it much more difficult.
Yeah.
What?
Difficulty slider is really just how many ferns are in the level. Boom.
Eventually.
All right.
There it is.
So you could do a lot of things like set it up to where like if the number equals a certain amount of things, go to a new level, and the new level is just a you win screen, and all sorts of things like that. But we've got all the technical stuff in here. So now I say let's export this bad boy. Oh, what's it don't like? Lighting. It needs lighting. Go ahead and hit build. We're gonna rebuild the level. Hit just build all. Just build. This will let it kind of get its bearings on everything again, kind of recompile it all. It only take a second. And then it's going to redo the lighting. It's mad about the lighting. Then it's going to redo it, and it won't be mad anymore.
One error.
That's the lighting. It's going to, if bottom left-hand corner, you can see the lighting's finishing up. Boom, now you got lighting built. So now you're good. Go back to your modes again. Oh. No, wait. Hang on. Sorry. You're almost good. Just exit out, see what happens.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. We got to talk about that. Okay. So it doesn't like how it has to think about so much of the lighting at one time. So hit X. Go back to modes. And then change it back to select. In that left-hand little place actors thing, there's a certain thing called light. Start typing at the top. No, it's called light mass importance volumes. Drag that on there. You can pick how much is important by. It's a lot like your nav mesh bounds. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever. And so you normally just put that over the important parts of your levels, like the parts your character's actually traveling through, which could be the whole thing or whatever. For us, you can just kind of put it in there and see what happens.
Drop it down to where it's like around some ferns.
Touching some ferns. You won't notice much of a difference. It's really just where it wants to know. It wants to know what's important. And it doesn't like thinking everything's important.
All right. So rebuild again?
No, you should be good. Just hit play.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really notice much of a difference, but it likes it.
It makes it happy.
Yeah. And you can hit the X to exit because you made that beautiful exit button. And So boom,
Whew.
there we go. So now we got a level. It's beautiful. You got ferns, you got balls, you got scores, you got exit buttons. That's the basics. There's
Essentially,
1,000
it's a game.
more things to learn. Yeah, there's 10,000 more things to learn about Unreal, but they're all doable now because now you're gonna have context. You've touched all the basic stuff before. So when somebody says something, you're not going to be like, oh, "What? What's that?" Or "Oh, I've never used these nodes before," or anything. You've touched it all. So now you know. Let's export. Let's make a game. So hit save or go to File, Save All, and then now go to Edit, which is next to File, and then go to Project Settings. This is where your bread and butter is. You can sit here and spend all day in this thing, looking and reading every setting. I highly suggest one day you do that. You like go through and read every setting, like scroll on down. If you had a VR game, you would need it to like start in VR, and that's not checked automatically. We're not starting in VR, so that would be bad. But if you go to your left-hand side where it says project, scroll up. Oh, you're right at the top there. Look for, it says maps and modes. Click on that. Now here, there is little editor startup map. I would never change that because if you need to compile shaders, you want it to compile. If it's compiling shaders before the engine starts, it takes it forever. It takes it forever after the engine starts too, but you can actually see what it's doing. So never change the editor startup map. Just spend the extra 3 seconds to boot into it later. It's a big problem. Probably the worst thing about Unreal. But the default game map, you do need to change. We need to change that to our map. Otherwise, it won't start in the right map. So there we go. New map. It'll start in the right map now. It's like a text file. Once it's edited, it's edited. You can import and export these settings, but we don't have to do any of that. I just want you to know it's a thing. And you see there's 10,000 settings you can change. We're not really going to be messing with any more of them. But if you go back to, let's see, physics, packaging. Okay, project. Okay. All right. So for the build, okay. So for the thing, you got a packaging here on the left, and when you're in here, this is how you're going to do it. Most of this you're not going to change until you know what it means. If you don't know what it means, don't touch it. That's a good general rule. Build, you can just hit leave that how it is. Build configuration, go to shipping because you want it to be fully ready for building. You can hit full rebuild if you want it to build everything, which we do. So go ahead and check that on. And then prerequisites, you can hit. It'll already have like include prerequisites and installer. That means if someone installs your game and they don't have like the C++ stuff they're supposed to have, then it'll install that too, which is really important. So in the packaging, there's a drop down arrow in the middle there. You need to hit that drop down arrow.
This one?
Yes, and I'll scroll down, and you'll see something that says, what does it say? It says, list of maps to include in package build. You hit plus, and then you hit the ... and this is where we find the map. The one we have is called new map. Select that, and hit open. So what it's able to do is actually look at that and say, okay, I know everything this level is expecting to be there. It's expecting meshes to be there and code to be there and balls to be there and widgets to be there. So it only packages all the stuff that comes with the level, which doesn't package everything in the game ever, which has all this unused stuff and unused levels and everything. So this is how you keep your file size to something manageable. So now you got that selected, hit X.
X on the whole thing?
Yeah. Exit out and then hit file. It's annoying because you expect to have to save it, but you don't. Now save all. Now go to file. Go to export. Sorry, not export. Package project. Yep, you were right on it. And we're going to do this for Windows. But look at your build configuration there. You go first. We've already set it to shipping. That's what we did, but that's another place you can do it. I just want to point that out. Now go to Windows. Hit that. You can do test builds and stuff too, but we're just doing a full ship and build. We're gonna ship this thing. It's gonna make a lot of money.
Gun Goal Soccer.
There you go. Now you're making a new folder.
Oh.
It doesn't exist. If you can make a new folder, put it in. This is essentially where you're gonna put the final project, which is you don't want your
Okay.
final project just laying around in your game project. You want it all in a particular folder there. So you hit show output log.
Oh.
This is where you feel like you're in the Matrix.
Or will it crash it? Who knows? There it is.
So this is showing everything it's doing. It's like sitting there and it's looking at what the game needs and it's compiling it and trying it and putting it in a folder and compiling shaders.
Woo. Sandbox cleanup took 0.025 seconds.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of info. The first like 900 times I did this, I saw nothing but errors.
Up here, there's errors.
Errors aren't that bad. You want to read them. So
These are old
it doesn't
ones.
like something.
Goal. Oh, it's that goal that we deleted.
Yeah. It doesn't like the goal deleted there, but that's okay because it doesn't need to like it. It shouldn't. It should just be like, so I'm going to ignore it, and that's fine because we've never ever used it.
Sounds good.
That's probably why it's upset. But stuff like that is all in this thing. Your shaders are compiling. You only have 1,500 more to go, which actually isn't that bad.
I should have turned on my overclock so it's going faster. Oh well.
It's true. Oh well. Yay. Okay, so it exported. So now it says success. Then you can go to where that file is in the real world. So you have to like go to your Windows Explorer.
I have no idea where.
Okay, so go to your Unreal files. You saved it there.
How's this? I open my Epic Games Launcher.
And you
And
see.
I go to my library, and then I see my project, and then it tells me the path.
Yes. Okay. Go there.
Show in folder.
Okay. So here, remember you made that new folder?
Yeah.
Windows No Editor. That's what it's called.
All right.
Because you can name that, you can rename that, and I would, and then you can zip that file and put it on itch or whatever. But if you double click my project here, close out the editor just to.
Oh.
That's okay.
Oh well. Look.
All right. So here you are. Look at that.
Wowee! I'm doing
You're
it,
playing
Dad.
your game.
NVIDIA GeForce thinks I'm playing a game. Look at that.
Because you are. You made this game. It's real.
Really real.
And so here's why you want that exit button so bad. Unless you want to hit the Windows key and end task, you got to leave. You got to have an exit button.
These ferns make it really difficult. Should have placed them to where it funnels the ball into the goal.
Oh, yeah, that would have been fun.
It's especially difficult when your man can step over it.
Boom.
There's the ball. We did it!
You did it. And see, so if you...
I paid $20 for that game.
Right?
Steam VR is mad because
it's not
unrelated things.
But it wants to be used. Yeah, so that folder that says Windows No Editor, you could name that Jungle Soccer and then like right click and send compress file and then drag that compressed file to itch and then somebody could buy that game and be really disappointed.
Jungle Soccer.
That's the whole shebang right there.
Yeah,
go to send to. Send to.
And
then compressed.
It's an interesting way to do that.
That's the Windows way. If you want anyone to be able to uncompress it, you need to do it that way. If you want someone to have to install 7-zip, then you can do it another way.
Or WinRAR.
Or WinRAR.
So I should have just pulled up medieval game environment and then we like import somebody's head as a soccer ball and then boom.
Yeah. Now you got a stylized
soccer
game.
Yeah. And then we sell that for $20. We did it.
We did it. Yay. That's it. If you follow along in this series, I highly recommend you continue your learning. But you should know how to start a game, do a little bit of programming, export a game, and it run on your computer, it took me like years to learn all this stuff. So Steven, I hope I really, really pushed you through it a lot faster.
I know so much more about this. I feel a lot more comfortable actually messing with Unreal.
Yes, because that's the thing. There's just so many pieces, and so when you know the context it all fits together in.
I really want to try out some of these packs I've downloaded for free.
Yeah, because it's not hard to make stuff once you learn. Like the easiest thing to do is make it look pretty. That's why you see tons of people making really pretty things in Unreal and not a lot of games.
Yep.
But it's time consuming. Making things look pretty takes forever.
So let other people spend that time, and then you just
You
download
just
their
go for
stuff.
the free month asset stuff, download all that crap, and put it in your game. That's all everybody people are like, your game looks pretty. And I'm like, it's because it's an Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine has a lot of ways to make things look pretty that you don't have to do yourself.
Boom.
Boom. All right. That's it. Go home. Subscribe. Look for our games and videos and stuff.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.